Happy holidays, Needham, and welcome to What's My House Worth, hosted by your two favorite Needham realtors. My name is Rob Tickton. This is Ryan McDonald. We're with Hawthorne Properties. Hi, Ryan. How are you today?
A little cold today, Rob.
Yeah, it is a little chilly.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. Today's episode, we're going to be going over the month of November, Ryan, and I guess we'll just start things off like we always do, and that's kind of diving into that sales data. What do you see when you look at it?
I see a month that looked a heck of a lot like October, Rob.
Okay.
We had 17 sales this month, same as last month actually. But over last year, Rob, we had 23 sales in November last year, so a bit of a dip in the volume. From an average list price standpoint, we're at 1.1, which is on pace with last month, but it's $100,000 above last year, so the prices are up a little bit over 2015. Average sales price is over a million, 1.07. Down a little bit from last month, but up over the 993 mark of 2015. So month over month, we're similar. Year over year, we're showing some improvements in all of those numbers.
How about average sales price per square foot? That 312 kind of jumped out at me a little bit as being a lower number, right?
It is.
So I checked the archives, and in November of 2015, that number was 355. In November of 2014, it was 340. November of 2013, it was 348.
Right, we haven't seen 312.
312 is low.
And I think when we see the mix this month, it's an interesting mix.
Yeah, it is.
But,
and there's one particular sale that probably is driving it just because of the sales price. But still, 312, a low number. We can both agree on that. Trailing 6 months and seeing the trend, and it's going down as we head into the winter months, obviously. One thing I did see is that the 65 sales in September, October, November, the total of those 3 months, actually 6 better than last year.
Yeah, so I mean, it's year over year. I mean, when people are always talking about how busy last year was, but this year has been just the same, and if not better in terms of the numbers.
Yeah, plowing through some inventory, which was a little bit of a concern for us earlier in the year. November historical sales and an unpredictable month, but I think you're seeing this 17 kind of falls right probably close to the average.
Right, like as you said, unpredictable. We can't really figure November's out.
Yeah.
But, 17.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
That's barely just enough to give us a half hour worth of content.
Something to do.
It's close. So let's start with the individual sales. We'll work low and climb over the sales price as we go. First one on the docket is 228 Valley Road. This one, of course, located in the Valley. Ryan.
Good job, Rob.
Thank you. The backyard pretty much abutting 128.
Yeah, I mean, there's a buffer. I mean, there's some woods between the house and the highway, but it is there. And it's a 15,000 square foot lot, so it's good size. Gotta love the glass palace, though. Rob, did you see that in the listing sheet?
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, you can have a 3-season porch or you can have a glass palace. Which sounds better?
Well, for my money, I like 3-season porch.
All right.
You like glass palace?
I mean, it caught my attention.
Okay, good.
So
that house assessed for $618,900, sells for $657,500. Just on the other side of 128 is Reservoir Avenue. Our next listing is 38 Reservoir, and Ryan, so listing agent calling this one the best buy in Needham. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of house for $685, Rob. I mean, as you mentioned, it's on Reservoir, which is over by like the Echo Bridge area of Needham, right by the Newton line. It's a big lot, 10,000 square feet. The public record's a little skewy here. It's 2853 in public record. This has it at 3,200. With the source on the listing sheet as quote owner.
Okay.
But I mean, even if you call it 2853, I mean, you're talking about $240 a foot.
Yeah.
So when you start throwing around Best Buy and Needham, it makes you start to scratch your head and think about, all right, what makes this the best buy? $240 a foot is pretty good as far as what we were just talking about how 312 is low.
Right. For
an average, 240 is a good value for Needham.
Yeah, and probably partly responsible for driving that number down at 312. At least partly.
Right. Yep. Right? Yeah. I mean, but location-wise, I mean, that's the story here for that property.
For the first two, I would say.
Yep.
1253 Great Plain Avenue is the next property. Do we know if this was a short sale? It didn't say it on the listing sheet, but there were some things on it that tipped me off.
I think it's a relo.
A relo.
I think this was a relocation deal. I mean, the one thing that jumped out was that the buyer or the buyer's agent is responsible for the smoke certificate
Yep,
and final
that,
water.
the
I've never seen that before.
Well, that and the 3% co-broke for the buyer's agent.
So I think it was a relocation deal.
Okay.
Where there may not be anybody there to take care of it, but that's an odd one. I mean, if there's a listing agent, then if the buyer's not or the seller's not going to take care of the
Then
smoke
the
and final
default
water, wouldn't
next
it be
person
the
in line.
listing agent?
Yeah, you would think.
I've never seen that before.
Maybe
But
they're a trendsetter.
yeah, maybe that is a listing agent that doesn't want to do anything outside of put this thing on the market.
I can't tell you this listing though. It's not the first time it was on the market. It's been on the market, on and off for a few years, and they had been trying to get high sevens for quite some time, and at the end of the day, couldn't get a lot of space in this house, but it needed a lot of work and close to town.
Yep, Great Plain Ave, so busy street, but you're right, it's dated. Lot size is small too. It's under 8,000 square feet.
And as we speak, there is some work being done to this house.
Fun.
Yeah. 14 Wilshire Park is our next listing as we head to the Ladder Streets, or as we've heard them called, the Ladder District.
Yeah.
And 14 Wilshire Park, this one was on the market a little while.
Yeah, Rob, it went out at 850, which I remember seeing it, and it was just really hard to like it because I just felt like it was very much overpriced, and it ended up selling in the low sevens, which is I think where it ought to be. I mean, you really think this house was probably $100,000 overpriced, and it might have sold very, very quickly, and instead it sat for 196 days on the market.
Right.
And
three price reductions.
yeah, and I mean, even a Ladder Street house, it's you can still miss the mark, and this is what happens when you do, and it just totally changes your mindset when you're walking through there at 850, and you're seeing a house which was very nice. It was updated. It had, an addition. It had
Master bath.
Yeah, it had some nice features. The ceilings were high on the first floor. I mean, there was a lot to like about it, but you just had a hard time fully appreciating it because it was, you would have had to pay too much for it.
Well, of all the Ladder Streets, Wilshire Park does rank number 1, Ryan.
Okay.
In terms of length.
Okay.
It's the longest.
All right.
Plymouth just trailing. Anything else on that one?
That's a fun fact.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, we got there with like a tape measure? How'd you figure that out?
That's between me and Wilshire. 186 Central Avenue is our next listing. This house has an in-ground pool. Actually, this house you and I walked through back in 2012. I don't know if you remember.
I can't remember that far back.
It sold for $640,000 in 2012. And when those buyers bought it, they put a decent amount of money into it.
Including a pool?
I don't know if they did put the pool. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah,
because it had one.
Because this was updated, like the HVAC was updated.
Yes, the wallpaper
hot water,
was all
electrical.
taken off. Yeah, I mean they definitely put some money into it, but they sold it for $125,000 more than they bought it for. So
did they put 275 square feet into it?
I don't know.
Because public record says they did.
You are on the public record police.
Okay.
I mean, you are all over that.
Whenever I see the source as owner, or in this case it was other, I mean, always you have to look.
It seems like it's something you can easily get away with, though. I just don't think many people really dive into what the source of the square footage is.
Well, you have to when you're buying it. You have to verify it.
Well,
you would think.
You would think.
Okay.
I'm sure not
and
everybody
again,
does.
I say this all the time. I'm not suggesting there's any improprieties, but it's just different than public record. And who says public record is the authority?
Yeah, maybe that's the problem.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. Well,
okay. We good?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
All right, good. Well, you better be because you're up.
Yeah.
970 Central Avenue, and this one is Ryan's deal of the month for the seller. Ryan, let's hear it.
Yeah, I think the seller got a good price here. They got a lot of money for a house that it needed a lot of work, Rob. I mean,
okay.
It's on Central Ave. You're paying $800,000. It's a busy road. I mean, you've got basically all the cosmetics are dated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good square footage. It's 2,700 square feet. The lot size is nice, but I just felt like at this time of year that might have been a lot of money to pay for a house that you have to put some work into. And then we'll see in a couple of houses, we'll see one that I think reflects kind of what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Good. Well done.
Yeah. Thanks.
Nice to have that in the rearview mirror.
Yeah. Boy, that's a weight off.
Yeah.
Usually the deals of the month are later on.
Yeah. You never know, though.
That was a quick one.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice to get it over with. I've got a lot of anxiety for mine. 361 Hillcrest Road is the next listing. Good spot on Hillcrest Road. This one sold for $703,000 in 2006, Ryan. So 10 years later, and I mean, by looking at the pictures, it looks pretty similar to how it looked back in 2006.
Yeah.
They sell it for $840,000.
Yeah, and this is Rob. This is a renovated turnkey property.
Yes.
Right? You know, you're paying $840 and you're in Birds Hill.
Yep.
Versus Central Ave. You know, it's a little bit smaller and it's a ranch, but you know, this is for 40 grand you can't get Central Ave to where Hillcrest is.
Well, and the fact that it's a ranch, I mean, you can argue, you know, that's a plus. The one floor living, I mean, there's scarcity when it comes to that, and there's certainly a demand for it. And so, I don't know who bought the house, but I think the fact that it is a one floor living home maybe has something to do with the fact that it sold for $364 a square foot, which is a good number, as you know.
Yep.
Especially when you compare, like 361 Hillcrest sells for $840, so compare it to the next listing, which is 31 Stewart Road. So this one sells for $10,000 more than 361 Hillcrest, a different location.
Yep.
I'm not saying better or worse, but different. But you know, for that one, you get an extra 200 square feet, you get a bed, you get a bath. It's bigger. Maybe not quite as updated.
No, this one was renovated.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it was renovated.
and this is the one that I was also comparing back to not only Hillcrest but to Central.
Yeah.
It's just to me it hits the argument home even more that maybe Central got a little bit more for it than they should.
Too much money.
Because Stewart for 50 grand to be in Olin Woods in a renovated house, I'll take it.
Yeah, and it's one extra bed, but one less half bath. All right, so that's the one we're kind of measuring everything up against, I guess.
Yeah.
31 Stewart.
The barometer.
Hopefully Riz is all right outside. Next up, 294 Central Avenue. You know, we've been doing this show for a little while, Ryan, and so we're starting to do some listings here on a fairly consistent basis that we had already done before, and this is one of them.
Yep.
And I remember we had a special segment back in 2012 about new construction homes that you could get for under $1 million.
Right. Yep, and this one was in there.
It was in there because it sold for $830.
Right, and we couldn't understand it.
Which is, I mean, in hindsight, that's a good buy.
Oh sure, yeah. Look at them getting out at $1,049,000
in 4 years.
And you know they didn't do anything to it because it was new construction when they got it.
Maybe it's better than new.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So this homeowner did very well. But yeah, I do remember talking about that at 8:30 and just scratching our heads.
Yeah, there was that one, and there was the one across the street on the other side of Central, right? Those were like the only two we could find.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to be finding any more of those.
No.
Next up, 371 West Street. This was originally on the market, Ryan, in 2015 for $1,395. So you can imagine these sellers are probably a little disappointed that they ended up getting 1.1, even though that's probably what this house is worth.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And then when it originally went on this time, it went on at 134. But you're right. It's just that feeling of disappointment as a seller. But you wouldn't feel that way had you priced it right. You would just. But it feels like you've lost money, but you haven't because the market is what it is. It was just about missing the mark, coming out of the gates. 'Cause, I mean, this is a big lot, Rob. This is a 16,000 square foot lot.
On the corner of West and Honeywell.
Central.
No, Central, excuse me. Yep.
But in a unique design in this house. It's a little dark, but it's very modern. It's a cool house. It's a nice first floor in-law suite. I mean, everything about it is great. It just went out too high, and it's hard to recover from that psychologically when you're a seller. But it's the importance of positioning.
Speaking of one floor living from before, it also had, if I remember correctly, a first floor bedroom and bath.
Yeah,
off to the side.
The in-law suite.
Yeah, the in-law suite.
Right, like the one I just mentioned.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I guess I was thinking of my next point.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Definitely don't pay attention.
Maybe you weren't paying attention to the fact it was a little smoky in there, too. Do you remember that?
Was it?
Yeah. There was a smoker in there.
Oh.
Okay. Things
Moving right along.
Awkward 13 Utica Road is the next listing. Tough road to exit from, Ryan. If you want to get off of Utica onto Highland. Wouldn't you agree?
I would. That might drive me crazy.
Yeah, but it's a good commuter location.
True.
And the home does have it all.
Yeah, except for a bathroom in the attic. I remember I walked up there and it's a finished attic and there's like this perfect little nook for a bathroom and then there was just nothing in that nook.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I wish there was a bathroom right here. Then I would agree that this home has it all. 9,000 square foot lot built in 2005. Like you said, good commuter location.
Yeah, I don't have a bathroom in my attic.
I know, but does it have a little nook that's just screaming for it? Yeah, so that's why.
Okay.
If you're gonna put the nook in, put the bathroom in the nook.
Okay. Let's go to 25 Dunster, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, because there we go. See?
Oh,
this
wow.
This is why I wasn't listening to you before. I've been nervous.
Yeah, I didn't know this was your deal. And this is interesting. So I like this house more than you did. Remember?
Yes.
But go ahead. Let's hear it. What
So
do you
it's my deal of the month because it's a 2,600 square foot cape, and it's got a lot of unique, cool features to it, and it did feel a little bit bigger, but it's still a 2,600 square foot cape. And I just walked through it, and I think at the time you and I walked through it, it was in the price in the 1.2s, well into the 1.2s. Look at that, I mean,
Well, it
1.299. Actually, it might have been in the 1.3s when it was a for sale by owner.
Yeah, right. That's what I was going to say. That's when we saw it.
I just look at this sales price, 115 for a 2,600 square foot cape that's 4 beds, 3 baths. I understand that it's a really desirable location, but that just seems like a really big number. I mean, you got a house right now, as of this broadcast, sitting on the market on Aletha. It's a colonial, and it's also in a really good location, and it's bigger. And to me, it has a lot more going for it, and it's just sitting on the market. I don't understand how this one sells for 115.
That's the first time we've ever talked about an active listing.
Should we not do that?
I don't know. We just never have before.
If it's not out of our office, I think it's okay.
I mean, I totally agree with everything you're saying, and I think the reason this got to where the number that it got was because it was so unique, and it had that walkout basement with like the tile and that bathroom with the shower that you just walk into. It was a cool,
It was cool, but it just didn't feel very functional.
All right. I mean, but it wasn't your standard 2,600 square foot cape. It was a unique 2,600 square foot cape. But still, I agree. It's a lot. It's a lot for that.
Okay.
For that deliverable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
61 Prospect is another unique home.
Yes, very much so.
I really like this house, and apparently so did the buyer, because this house never even made it to the open house.
Yikes.
Open house canceled, I think, is what it said on the listing sheet, because it popped on the market. Somebody, I guess, got in there and had a look and said, I don't want the rest of the world to see this house, so it sells for $26,000 more than list.
Yeah, I remember when this was done back in 2009.
Yes, I do too.
Like the craftsmanship and all the woodwork in the house was really, really detailed and intricate.
Even the tile was...
Yeah, it was just really well done and meticulous, and it did well then, and it did well again in 2016. So if you're the buyer of 61 Prospect, you
got a cool house.
Yeah, you had a cool house, and you get some comfort that when you go to sell it, there'll be a market for it.
Yeah.
And sneaky walk to town.
Sneaky walk to town. 22 Hazel Lane is a new construction home. It's the next one up on our list. It's timeless, and that'll have to be corrected, and tasteful, and it's 4,500 square feet, Ryan.
Yep. I mean, a lot of new construction going on in that neighborhood that we've really ought to make it a priority to name. Because it's got the Fay, Woodbine Circle, Hazel Lane, like that neighborhood.
Yeah, is that part of the Woodbine Circle neighborhood?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, this lot sold for $565, which isn't bad for a
No.
And they closed in January of 2016, so this one turned around pretty quickly.
Yeah. That's a pretty tight spread.
Yeah. So good job by that builder.
Yes, sirree. Another new construction home is 275 High Rock. This one is on a bigger lot, though. This one's on a 12,600 square foot lot, and it's got a huge laundry.
Yeah.
With a sink.
All right. Right. Yep. Pretty straightforward. 1.5s, just under 6,000 square feet.
Lots of days on market for that one.
Yeah, I'm sure that went on. I would have to think that went on very, very soon after the project started.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
You'd hope for the builder's sake.
You'd hope for the builder's sake.
I might be a little biased towards the next listing because
Okay.
I do live on Manning, as you know, right?
You're just disclosing all kinds of things.
I'm not going to say the number. 252 Manning is the listing, however. That's that number. And I think that's a pretty good sales price for the buyer. That was a nice house.
Yeah.
We walked through that, and it was very nicely done, I thought. It looks really cool.
Superior, perhaps?
Yeah, it doesn't look cookie cutter, I'll say that.
No. In the listing, she claimed it was done by Needham's premier builder. I don't remember that vote taking place, but okay.
Well, can you put on a listing sheet Needham's self-anointed superior builder?
Premier builder.
Oh, premier? Can you say self-anointed?
Self-anointed, I suppose.
All right. You think it takes a little bit
Is that kind of like listing owner as the public or the square footage source?
No, it's different.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, good job, Manning. Good job, buyer of Manning, I think is what we both agree with, right?
That's what I say.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up with the big seller, and it's a big one.
Finally, we get back to that $2 million mark.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
But 25 Mar Road fits the bill, just barely. Sells for $2 million on the nose. This one on the market for 37 days. 8,000 square feet, Ryan.
Yeah, this is a big one. And we're through 11 months of data. And we have, guess how many $2 million sales we have this year?
Including
this one.
7.
6. Huh. Guess how many we had last year at this time?
13.
14. Ooh. Where'd they all go?
I don't know, but I'm pretty good on my guesses.
Yeah, well, this is your job.
Okay, thanks a lot. I ask you questions all the time.
Yeah, so I mean, we just got done talking about how this year is stronger over last year, but last year, remember, we were riddled with $2 million
yeah,
sales.
and I remember discussing, is this the new norm?
Right, and
which
it wasn't.
Clearly it wasn't.
No, it was. You could say it was sort of an anomaly.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there isn't a market for these homes. It just means that there have been fewer sales of them. Because we do have some. We have some currently on the market in the 2s.
Yep.
We're still seeing, the demand for properties like this, but we just haven't had the volume that we had last year.
So my question for you then is, if you had, it was 14. What are the numbers? 14 and 7.
14 and 6.
So if you had 14 $2 million buyers last year, and this year you have 6, where are the other 2 million buyers? Where are they gone?
Some of them have built custom homes.
Okay.
So we've had a number of them just out of our office that have done custom homes that are in that price point.
Okay.
So that's taking some of it off it.
Yep.
And you do see some sales that don't show up on MLS. Mm-hmm. But so I think just judging from the types of calls that we get and some of the demand that we're seeing, like this surprised me. When I looked at this number and said, oh my gosh, there's only 6 of them, I was surprised to see that because it doesn't feel like there haven't been any.
Yeah, it surprised me when I saw those numbers last month as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Wow, you didn't see that coming.
This is a tough one. This is a tough show.
All right.
This month is.
It's only getting tougher. I had to go. Sorry.
What?
Retread on the listing picture of the month, but there's a reason.
Okay.
There's a reason.
Well,
let's go.
Are we snapshotting first, or are we going right to it?
No, we're going listing picture
Oh,
then
all right.
snapshot.
I have not seen the listing picture of the month, so
it's just,
excuse me if I have to turn around and look at the screen.
It's an oldie but goodie.
All right.
And I think everybody will.
This guy.
I mean, it's seasonal.
Yeah, you're right.
It's seasonal.
It is. It's like every year when you'd watch the Charlie Brown Christmas special. You've seen it a million times, but it's still funny. Like
right.
This one.
Or like the uncle that always comes to your house for the holidays. That's the only time. A wacky uncle who's carrying a Christmas tree.
Yeah. I do like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really grabs you.
It does. It gets you in the door. It tells you that the house is filled with warmth.
Either that or it had just recently been robbed.
True. Oh yeah, I think that was our slant on it last year, that maybe the guy was stealing it.
It's possible. He was stealing it as the listing agent was there taking pictures for the listing.
It's either he's either buying it or he's already taken all the ornaments off, and it's the holiday is over. But there you go, our first repeat champion.
Yeah, it's very festive.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Yeah, it's just kind of the way we feel. I mean, it's the time of show. It's early December. You're kind of getting into that holiday spirit. So
it's the most wonderful time of the year, right?
Yeah.
Market snapshot. How are we looking presently, and just as important, going forward as we, stand here in this Needham real estate market?
I mean, we're standing here with 63 active single-family listings, 62 at this time last year. So we keep saying it. I mean, these 2015 and 16 are very similar.
But they weren't earlier in the year.
Well, it didn't feel that way because I think we just had that feeling of people were in the spring were maybe putting houses on a little bit higher.
But there was so much more inventory.
And there was a lot of inventory, but it's been absorbed.
Has it been absorbed, or has it been taken off and it'll reappear next spring?
Well, you can't account for the homes that have expired and that may or may not come back on the market in the spring.
Right.
But from an absorption standpoint, we're no worse off right now than we were last year when we were on the heels of a banner year by all accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So, and our listing price is at 147. Last year was at 141.
Yep.
So
Better.
virtually unchanged. Average days on market,
higher.
that's 139. I mean, that's a lot, and that keeps creeping up on us. Like every month, I feel like we're saying, "Ooh, that's getting a little bit up there." but it's sort of creeping up on
Well,
us.
and it's going to
bit.
continue to creep up because stuff isn't going to sell that's sitting on the market over the month of December.
True. So we should expect to see that maybe get a little higher the next couple months. Average list price per square foot of $361. That's level. It's on pace. And the pending sales right now, there's 43. So we'll have at least 43 sales to talk about in the months ahead, assuming those all close.
Yep.
Because gosh knows we need to fill this time with some actual content.
Right. Well, I think we said that 17 was just barely the number that gave us a half hour to fill. And I guess going forward, maybe that number should be closer to 19. Because 17 seems to be falling just a touch short.
Just a hair short on the content.
So let's why don't we each give our 1 minute, spiel about what we think is going on with this market and where we think it's headed. If you're going to meet with a potential Needham buyer, let's say you do buyer, I'll do seller. Okay?
All right.
You meet with a potential Needham buyer, and they sit down. They're like, "Tell us about the Needham market in a minute." What are you telling them?
I mean, I'm telling them that you don't expect to get a deal here, and even though it's this time of year, you're still going to have the same competition and the same demand for the properties that are, quote, the most desirable. When you have these wheelhouse properties that come on like between 700 and a million, that there's just such demand for them, and there's just so few of them that I think you're going to expect to see the same competition. Like, be prepared to make an offer after seeing it once. Like, be prepared to potentially waive contingencies if you're comfortable doing that. Like, these are the things that you're still going to have to do as we get into another spring here, and we'll start to see some inventory in the next couple months.
And if I think if I'm sitting down with a potential seller who's ready or maybe ready soon to list their house, I think what I'm saying is we've seen more and more each of the past few years that the spring market has been starting earlier and earlier. And the winter certainly has a factor there, but assuming it's an average garden variety winter here in Needham, once that last snowfall kind of thaws out, whether it's late February, early March at the latest, be ready to jump on the market first and be one of the first homes on the market for the spring market as opposed to one of the last. Because over the course of the winter, you have all this demand getting pent up, and people are nervous, and is this going to be my one shot? And so the listings that get the most offers generally are the ones that go on earlier in the spring. That would be my advice for anybody considering listing their home.
I would agree.
Yeah?
I would agree.
Okay, so if anybody wants to reach us, if anybody has any questions, if anybody's thinking about listing their house, how would they reach us, Ryan?
You can call us at 781-707-6564. You can email us at rob.ryan@hawthornre.com. And you can follow us on Twitter, and that handle is @Hawthorne_WMHW.
Very good.
Yeah, very good. So-so.
Yeah, I don't know. Did the best we could. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
We'll make up for it in December. Anyway, that does it for this month's installment of What's My House Worth. I am Rob. This is Ryan. We will see you again very soon.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.